I was in about 5th grade. My mum and I loved to go to Disneyland. We lived about an hour's drive away and held annual passes. One of my mum's favourite rides was the Tower of Terror, which I was very much afraid of because of the drops. Right in front of the ride is a little area for the fast passes. For anyone who's unfamiliar, they're small machines that you can get passes from to skip the line. But you'd have to do a whole different line. This is where I would wait for my mum and went on the ride. There was always a worker there, plus many others in viewing distance, and I had one of those flip phones in case I got lost. As I'm sitting there, I hear a worker behind me talking to a man, asking him to move out from the fast pass area since they were closing them off for the day. The man walked out and sat down next to me. He was about 18 to 20. He asked beforehand if I wouldn't mind if he sat next to me, and I said no since I didn't think anything of it, and there was plenty of space in between us. Now I'm a very friendly kid, and naturally I was going to start a conversation with him while I waited. When I turned, he was already looking at me. He stuck out his hand offering to shake hands with me, and gave me his name, which he said was Light. Now that I'm older and have watched Death Note, I'm sure it was a reference to the show. Anyway, I introduced myself to him and we start to talk. As the conversation went on, he scooted closer to me. I didn't think anything of it because we were pretty far apart, and I figured he just wanted to be able to hear me better. It was a relatively normal conversation, asking where I was from, hobbies, and how old I was, until he asked, "Do you have a phone? What's your phone number?" Luckily, I had my phone in my bag, so I just said I was too young for one, and he followed up with this question. "Are you ticklish?" Remember, I'm a tiny 5th grade girl, and he had just told me he was 19. I froze and felt all the adrenaline rushing into my body as he proceeded to grab and squeeze very high on my thigh and the sides of my stomach. That lasted for 5 seconds until I saw my mum, which prompted me to get up and run to her. As I walked up though, she looked really annoyed. She was looking past me, and behind me I hear, "Hi, I'm Light." He shook my mum's hand. "I was wondering if I could spend the rest of the day with you guys." My mum said, "No," and he walked away. I began bawling my eyes out to her. She explained the reason she looked so angry is because when I was a little kid, I used to invite people over to our house or to hang out with us, so she had assumed I had done it again. I didn't tell her about him touching until I began high school, which I definitely should have. But for some reason, I had this idea in my head that I would be in trouble if I told her. So creepy, Disneyland man? Let's never meet again. I was around 15, and I was on vacation at Walt Disney World sometime during the summer. My family has the vacation club membership, so we go a few times a year and live nearby. We were staying in the vacation club villas, which is a separate building from the main hotel. I brought 2 of my friends, Savannah and Victoria, and we got bored at around 2 a.m, so we went down to the gym. We weren't even going to work out. We were just going to take mirror selfies and mess around with the exercise balls. There's a desk for the spa portion of the gym, and since it was late there were no employees. So we were messing around behind the desk and found a notebook. I'm not sure why, I was super annoying at the time, but I decided to write my Twitter and Instagram handles, and did. Looking back, I'm pretty sure we could get in trouble since guests aren't supposed to mess around with the desks. I didn't think much of it as we left the gym, and the next morning we checked out of the hotel. On the drive back home, I get a Twitter notification, and it's from a diaper fetish account. The creepy thing is this account was active for a while and had disgusting pictures of grown men in diapers and other disturbing pictures of children. So does Savannah, and we both wrote our names in that book. We both sit there looking at each other. The account tweeted at us saying something like, "I know who you are and what you've done, and your vacation will end abruptly." They tweeted some more creepy stuff like that, telling us to watch our backs, but I knew it was clearly because we left our names on the notepad. I didn't reply. Then I noticed a new follower, and it was my name, but the username was similar to the diaper account. The account started tweeting my address, phone number, and random pictures of me from deep in my social media. They do the same thing with Savannah's name, and at this point we're both crapping ourselves. I receive a text from a random number, and I'm assuming they used a texting app saying that they were watching us and knew more than we thought. They even started texting me about my boyfriend at the time and asked me really messed up questions about him. I told them to piss off and blocked it. I didn't get any more texts, but the Twitter account continued to tweet about me, random details that I know they had to dig deep to find. I blocked them on that too, and put all my accounts on private. I never got any more messages, but the Twitter accounts are still up to this day. So to the Disney employee with a diaper fetish, stay away from me.